What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my week 2 battle for the DGBA. I kinda tripped myself up there because it's the third battle I'm posting, but it's week 2 because my opponent just completely johned me. And stepping in to replace my opponent here is Huseypoo, and he is taking over the team. He is in the other division of this league, and he stepped in because my opponent was nowhere to be found, and we got this battle done this way. I'm not sure what the update is with the opponent in the future, but this week we got a different battle done with someone else here, and they have the team here consisting of Metagross, Thundurus Therian, Mega Glalie, Fortress, Mudsdale, and Celebi. And I've got a team here consisting of, I've got a max speed Latios with Ice Beam, Hidden Power Fire, Dragon Pulse, and Roost, a Celesteeling with Leech Seed, Protect, Flamethrower, and Air Slash, a Scarf, Hoopa Unbound, which had Dark Pulse, Psychic, Focus Blast, and Hyperspace Fury. Hyperspace Fury in that 4th slot in case Celebi started setting up Calm Minds or something got behind a sub. And Sylveon, which was specially defensive with Wish, Protect, Hyper Voice, and Baton Pass. Empoleon is Assault Vest with Scald, Flash Cannon, Signal Beam, and Steel Wing. Steel Wing was in case Ribombee started setting up Quiver Dances and roosted up. It gave me a move to hit it physically so that no matter how many times it quivered, it would not be able to avoid a 2-hit KO. And I've got a Volbeat, which is U-Turn, Roost, Defog, and Encore, which also helped me with some of his special setup sweepers. Now, looking at this matchup, I decided I wanted to lead off with Celesteeling, and it covered the Glalie lead pretty well, but it also covered pretty much anything except for Thundurus. So let's hit the play and see what he leads off with. And he leads off with Thundurus, which was the one thing the Steela lead was bad for. So I'm going to go right out into my Volbeat. It covers any sort of thing it would want to do, even if it started nasty plotting up. Because it's not Z, I could Encore it, so I was pretty safe there. And he's going to go out and use Mudsdale, which is pretty interesting here. I'm actually going to Roost here because I thought he was going to click Stealth Rock and I wanted to be able to Encore him into it. But he's actually going to go right for the Body Slam, which really screams to me potential Assault Vest, but we'll definitely see later. And I'm going to Encore him into Body Slam just because I know that's a move that really doesn't do too much and lets me kind of get Empoleon in to put some pressure on. But he's going to switch out as I Roost back up with my Volbeat. And here he's going to click the Thunderbolt, and I'm actually going to click U-Turn, kind of see what he wanted to do. I know that Latios can now come in and start to put some pressure on him. I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Fire, predicting him to go into one of his steals, and he actually goes on a Mudsdale and just munches. So not only is he Assault Vest, he is Assault Vest with Special Defense. That is a fat horse. And he's going to go for a Body Slam as we go into Steela, which is just a great answer to Mudsdale. I'm going to go for Seeds here as he actually goes out into Celebi. And here I'm going to decide I want to go into my Volbeat, potentially get a chance to heal up. And he's going to go for his Seeds there, which makes a lot of sense. This is going to give me my chance to Roost up Bar Paralysis. And I am able to Roost up there. My little dog wants some attention here, but I gotta commentate the game first. He's gonna U-turn out to himself, so that's pretty interesting. Good to know. I did expect U-turn considering I had Hoopa, but it is good information. He goes on to Glalie, and I'm gonna go to my Celesteeling, and that is actually gonna do quite a bit. But he is forced out here. And I believe I'm just going to go ahead and click the... Or no, I'm actually going to double out into my Empoleon, which kind of covered him either staying in or potentially switching. And he makes a smart play. He scouts for my Signal Beam as he goes out into the Fortress on my Empoleon. And I decide I'm just going to Scald this. This is where all his hazards can come from, unless potentially Metagross's rocks or even Celebi, I guess. so I just want to kind of get rid of it early. Here I am going to Scald again. I did consider going out into Volbeat, but I thought Volt Switch was a very real possibility there. He brings out Thundurus and our Empoleon, which will definitely force us out. I know Sylveon can deal with this pretty easily, unless I get burned. But here I'm going to Wish Up. He's going to go into Metagross, and I just want to make sure I can keep Sylveon healthy, so I'm going to click my Protect here. And he actually shows off that he is Z-Move, and he is Gigavolt Havoc, which was for the Steela and was for the Empoleon. And I'm just going to take a second to comment how funny it was to me that they decided to have Metagross and Chandelure as their Z users instead of potentially Thundurus, which is a pretty odd choice for the team. And normally it would make it pretty easier to prep for, but that Gigavolt was a very good prep by Hughes, a good way to hit my steals. So here I'm going to go into Volbeat. I expected him to Thunder Punch again. I had to keep Celesteela healthy, so I knew if I could get Volbeat in, I could potentially sack it and also get rid of his rocks, which are pretty nice for me. He's going to go ahead and click Meteor Mash. I'm going to lose my Volbeat here. And now I'm going to go into my Hoopa. It just puts a lot of pressure on him with Dark Pulse. And he's going to go ahead and sack his Fortress. Hoopa has a real potential to win this game, I notice. Clicking Dark Pulse is really promising. He brings out Glalie. I'm going to go into my Empoleon, predicting him to return as he does. Here I'm actually just going to throw off a Scald in case he opts to Earthquake. I need chip damage on Glalie to get in range of Hoopa, which I do get. And he's going to take down our Empoleon here. And I'm just going to again go into my Hoopa, puts a lot of pressure on his team. He's going to go into Mudsdale, which still bulky as hell. Here I decide, Celesteela is so obvious here, I thought he may try to predict that and go out into his Thundurus. So I'm actually going to click Dark Pulse again, which does not pay off. He opts to stay in. He goes for a Body Slam, and we do avoid the paralysis, and that was a pretty scary moment right there. Now we will go out into our Celesteela as he clicks the Earthquake, and Celesteela in here is still very important Pokemon. Or again, I'm making word salad here. Celesteela is one of the really important figures for me in this game, I realize, so I'm just content to click Leech Seed as he goes in his Celebi, because I know if he does, it'll let me get more health on this, which is very important. He's going to miss his Steeds here, unfortunately for him. I'm going to click Air Slash. I'm just kind of wanting to force it to Roost before I do wind up switching out, or not Roost, trying to force it to recover before I do wind up switching out. And this is a turn where I'm pretty confident he will recover, and I'm going to go right out into my Latios. And Latios should be able to beat this thing 1v1, most likely, or at least give me a free switch into Hoopa at some point. I'm going to click Ice Beam, and I'm going to do 53%, and he's going to U-turn out, so I have the Celebi nice and weakened, which is very nice for us. He's going to go into Thundurus here, and I'm actually going to predict the Dark Pulse and go out into Sylveon, as he actually opts to U-turn instead, which kind of made me upset at myself for not roosting, because I would have took that U-turn fairly comfortably. But he goes out into Metagross here, and I'm going to go steal it because I kind of had to. He makes the predict there with Thunder Punch, good play on his behalf. And here I believe I'm just going to click, I think I went for the Flamethrower here, actually. No, I went Hoopa. Sorry, it was a pretty long game. I don't remember all my turns too well here. And I'm trying to talk before the turn comes up. Here I actually go into Hoopa predicting the switch, and Hoopa kind of lets me put pressure right back on, and I'm able to click Dark Pulse here. He goes out into Thundurus, and it barely survives. I might have been able to get it if I clicked Psychic, but I thought Dark Pulse was just really safe. So again, I'm going to go out into Sylveon and his Thundurus and let him get in Metagross. Metagross is kind of on a tear here. I'm going to go ahead and switch out to my Celesteela because I thought he would Meteor Mash on a potential Protect there first before clicking Thunder Punch, and that does pay off. And he's going to go out into Celebi here, and now is where I click Flamethrower. And That just kind of gives me an opportunity to kind of sit in, get more health on my Celesteela. And he actually goes for the U-turn here, predicting me to switch out, but possibly in a Hoopa or Latios, and I'm going to go for an Air Slash there. I just kind of want to get my health up, plus it also did cover that potential play. He goes on a Mudsail, and I'm just going to get my Leech Seed on it, and he shows the cool Endeavor Tech, which brings us low. But I'm going to be able to protect, and thanks to the seeds, I'm not going to leave it with too bad of health. I'm going to end up at around 50%. And it's getting pretty tight around here at turn 43. Considering both of our teams are fairly offensive, it's been a pretty slow-paced game, actually. He goes out and uses Glalie on my Steela, and I'm going to get seeds up on that thing. This thing is definitely a monster here. And I'm just going to make the safe play of Protect to get a range of return. And he's going to predict that and get a Spike up. Good play on his behalf. And here I'm going to make a play I have to explain. I made a little bit of a miscalc here. I'm going to go into my Sylveon, and that's because I kind of calced this with the default Glalie set, which was Jolly, but he was probably going to be Adamant, and that was kind of a mistake there because I'm going to go into Sylveon. I'm going to be able to get the seeds and then Protect if I survive, but I'm actually going to go down to the return. So that was a bit of a costly mistake there for me. And here I'm going to go into Hoopa, which will take an Ice Shard if he does have it, but not well enough that I'm out of range of the Spike, which is a pretty big bummer for us at this point, I guess you would say. He's going to go Thundurus, and I just kind of have to let this thing go down. He's going to lock in a Dark Pulse, which gives me my switch into Celesteela here, because I know I'll take one with Celesteela, and he needs that to beat Latios. So I'm going to go for a Flamethrower here and actually catch the Celebi switching in. And we're going to get the KO on the Celebi, which is pretty nice here. So I'm going to go for my Protect here, just see what he wants to lock into. At this point, my play is, he goes for Thunderbolt, so my play is that I have to let the Celesteela go down and then go into my Latios and Roost back up and then try to beat him that way. His Metagross was at full health. I had to get out of range of a hit from it potentially, or maybe even dodge and mash. That was kind of the play I had here. And he's actually going to switch out into Metagross, which was really curious to me, but I'll take it, I guess. I'm going to go for the Leech Seeds there and get the thing seeded. He's going to go for a Thunder Punch here, and I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. I'm just going to keep clicking Flamethrower, because if he goes out into Thundurus, then I click anything that isn't Flamethrower, then I've royally screwed up. So I just have to click Flamethrower, and as long as I'm out of range of Dark Pulse, I should be fine. And I'm going to take that thing down. And here he's going to go out into his Thundurus. And I'm just going to Protect first, just to make sure that I can take the Dark Pulse somewhat well. Maybe potentially take an extra one if he flinches me down here. He goes for Dark Pulse. Does he get the flinch? He does not, and I'm able to take him down with Flamethrower. So GG to Hughes. It was definitely a good game, a close game, and a tight one. One I think probably would have been easier if I faced the prior opponent. He definitely knows what he's doing, and he definitely made it interesting, but we are able to move on to 2-1 here. Fortunately, no burns in this game. And that's going to be it for this video. I should have the next one out in not too long, because I got my week 3 battle done a while ago. So should be able to get week 4 done somewhat soon. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.